What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo November 4, Victor Kilo Yankee.
And Kilo November 4, Kilo Whiskey.
Your Ham Radio Adventure.
Thanks for stopping by your one stop for everything Adventure Radio.
It is Hump Day, which means it's time for the Hump Day Happy Hour. We have a great stream planned for y'all tonight.
As you might have guessed, we will be talking more about our POTA journey.
With that being said, let's go ahead and bring out James. Good evening, James, and congratulations on activating all of Delaware.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was a load of fun, and I made a load of contacts and probably made a load of people happy because I know there were several people that got worked all Delaware while we was there.
Well, we appreciate it.
I couldn't have done it without these guys right here, the Patreons. They absolutely rock, and they help keep everything going for me. So I really appreciate them and everything they do for me. Not only helping me with the gas and the food and stuff like that, but I mean holding frequency and stuff. I mean it was absolutely amazing. And also a shout out to the Adventure Club here. Well, if I can get it to come up, there we go. That's the current standings for the second quarter. And tomorrow, actually, we will be doing the drawing for the first quarter live on Twitter tomorrow afternoon. So the people who were in the top 10 for that should be able to watch it on Twitter. But other than that, how are you guys doing?
Doing well.
All righty. Let's bring out Hayden and see what he's up to tonight. What's going on, Hayden?
What's happening, everybody?
Same old, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Another Wednesday night, right where I want to be, having a good old time. Looking forward to the stream tonight.
Awesome, me too. All right, and with that said, we're going to turn it over to you guys and let you do your thing.
All right, sounds good.
Now, during the stream, if any of you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and then Hayden will bring them up. When we have our Q&A stops, we'll be able to answer them. And with that, there we go.
There we go.
Alrighty, so mentioned, put your questions in the chat, and then we'll take them when we have our Q&A stops. Good evening, everybody. This is KM4VKWXY. It will be our fall 2022 to winter and early spring 2023. Our POTA Adventures presentation number 2. This evening, we are going to pick back up from October 2nd, more specifically last year. Today, we did our first growth. During this week, our sister was getting married in Southwest Wisconsin. We decided to go and help her set up the wedding and realized we had a free day. So what did we do? We planned a tri-state POTA Rove to achieve the Rover Cheetah Award. The first park on our list was Kilo 1451, Governor Dodge State Park. This was a late shift activation on October 2nd UTC Day. As you may notice, this picture is from a previous activation.
Next was Kilo 5643, Lower Wisconsin State Riverway. This was our first time activating this park, and it was 6 a.m., so it was challenging to find a sign and make it visible in the dark where we could take a picture with it, but we were able to get it done.
From there, we went to Kilo 1482, Wyalusing State Park. We were there in the early morning, so it was a nice, quiet activation for us. Very enjoying.
After a little breakfast snack, we crossed the border and activated Kilo 2311, Pikes Peak State Park, which was our first park in Iowa. As you can see from the pictures, it was a very fun drive up, and the park overlook had a gorgeous view. We even saw boats down on the river, duck hunting, and listened to their guns go off. But after we got our pictures, we had to quickly go back down to the car and activate so that we could keep rolling through our park list.
Next was Kilo 0992, Effigy Mounds National Monument. There we were able to get our National Park book stamped, then head back out to the parking lot so we could set up and activate from the park.
We then activated Kilo 4664, Yellow River State Forest in Iowa. It was an extremely colorful park as we had activated it in the fall, and the trees were a magnificent sight to see.
On our next stop was Kilo 9342, Coon Creek Wildlife Management Area. We finally reached so far out in the middle of nowhere that we lost cell reception 20 minutes before we found the park. But even with the bumpy gravel roads, the countryside was a wonderful view that we were able to enjoy.
Then we activated Kilo 9344, Canoe Creek Wildlife Management Area. We did find a spot to activate the park, but we couldn't find a sign with the park's name on it. You will notice that we don't have pictures at some of these parks because we could not find them, and they probably didn't even have one.
Up next was Kilo 9343, South Pine Creek Wildlife Management Area. This park wasn't hard to find. It was on top of a hill, as you can see from the pictures. As we pulled up, to our surprise, there was another POTA operator that had recently finished activating the park and was tearing down his gear when we arrived.
Next was Kilo 9345, North Bear Creek Wildlife Management Area, and a Kilo 9346, South Bear Creek Wildlife Management Area. Once again, we couldn't find any park signs for a good picture, but we were able to find this visual marking on the side of a cabin. Many of these parks have only been activated a couple of times before us, and they are wildlife management areas in the middle of nowhere, so it makes sense that they didn't have a sign.
After hours of driving from park to park on very, very, very dusty gravel roads, we crossed the border into Minnesota, where we were greeted by paved roads. Then we activated Kilo 2469, Beaver Creek Valley State Park, our first Minnesota park activation. And on a side note, if you travel to Iowa to activate parks, most roads are gravel with very, very thick dust. So plan to wash your car multiple times. For us, even months after we were finished with the road, we still had found dust from the Iowa road in the nooks and crannies of the vehicle.
Next was Kilo 2490, Great River Bluff State Park. This park had a stunning view, but we didn't stick around too long in order to keep on track with our time and make sure we were home not extremely late that day.
Next was Kilo 8672, Great River State Trail. Now, this was a beautiful park with many people strolling through it. The entrance also leads to an area where you can watch trains pass by and view the water flow down the river. So that was a fun park to activate.
Up next was Kilo 8673, La Crosse River State Trail. This was the last park we were able to knock out before a late shift. So it was another very nice park with a well-maintained trail. And it was good where we were still able to get at least 15 of the parks in before late shift. Of course, we stayed there and did our late shift activation as well, but we had completed our rover for sure.
And to finish off our long day, we stopped at one more park on the way home, Kilo 5578, Cooley Experimental State Forest. We were definitely glad to activate it, even though it took us an hour to find the spot and set up. We drove alongside the park for 20 minutes trying to even find an entrance or somewhere we could take a picture at a sign. But because it was so dark, it was a big challenge for us to find the sign until Blake spotted it, and we ended up taking the picture and activating the park before heading back to our grandparents' house.
And the funny part about that was the park, when we exited off the interstate, the park was right there alongside us. As Ryan said, we were driving along it, but the park entrance was on the complete opposite side where we had to drive all the way around in order to find it, and it took a very long time. And with that, after a long drive back home in Wisconsin, trying to stay awake, we made it back to our grandparents' farm very late in the night. We were very tired. Yeah, we successfully completed our cheetah rove in one day with a total of 17 parks and 18 activations.
And there's one part. So now we will take a quick pause, and if any of you have any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat if you have any, and we'll be happy to answer them. So that was our cheetah rove. Definitely a very, very fun rove. Prepared us well for the lion rove. So
if there's nothing, we'll continue right on.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh, wait, here we go. Kyle asks, what tools did you use to plan your rove?
Well, to answer that question, it was mainly we used POTA to get a rough estimate of where the parks are. Then we had to research up, get a physical address, since a lot of them were in the middle of nowhere. So it took some time, but and Google Maps helped out for some of them, and then a bunch of them in Iowa didn't even pop up. So we used some guessing and then tried to use some things.
Yeah, and then for setup, we had our 7300 there, and then, of course, the Eagle One. So that was one of the main reasons that helped out with that. So
our favorite park on the Cheetah Row my favorite was probably Pikes Peak State Park because of the gorgeous view that we had on top of there. We didn't have a table, so we weren't able to go up in the area that we took the pictures from, where part of the area they were doing some construction, so we couldn't park up there, but we were still able to go up there and take a picture with the park sign, and that was my favorite.
yeah, I have to agree with that. There was one other. It was the one in the middle of nowhere that had the view of the countryside surrounding, where you're like on top of the hill. That one may be my number one, but I do agree with Pikes Peak as being a good one because that was a really cool view to see the lake far below you and see all the boats going by. So that was a cool one.
Now, I know the answer to this question, but Scott wants to know what antenna you guys are using.
Mm-hmm. So it is the Eagle One antenna. We have it. So ours is mounted to a trailer hitch. You can get it on you can use it with a tripod, but for us, we mainly do car activations. And if we do set up, we get it so we're close enough to where we can still hitch it onto our car. And it's a telescoping antenna. So, but it doesn't have any problems thus far. We've been using it. It's been super, super nice for us.
For us, it only takes 20 seconds to put up and take down. So it's very quick, and also it's phenomenal at bringing in the people who hunt us. The signals are phenomenally and excellent clear.
And you guys have the rare all green one.
Yes, we do.
That's the one I'm looking for. I'd love to have one of those.
That's the one we were able to get off of Tristan, the one he was presenting at Dayton, Kilo Echo 8, Echo November Charlie. So, anything else?
I'm not seeing anything else in the chat.
All righty.
Thanks to Edward for the super chat.
Well, continuing on our way back home from Wisconsin, we went to Kilo 0993 Fort Massac State Park, and this was our first ever Illinois activation. So there's 3 new states that we were able to accomplish. It was a very nice park with a campground, and every time we head up to Wisconsin or go through the area, we do hope to activate this park again because it was a wonderful park and magnificent park to see. So that was pretty cool. But
And now, on November 20th, 2022, the mighty Lion Rove. Some kids may want to go watch a movie or go play mini golf on a special day, but I chose personally to have Dad, Ryan, and I conquer our first ever Lion Rove. Our game plan was to knock out as many possible parks in the red area on Saturday night and all the blue parks in the area on Sunday. It took many hours of researching the park, finding what its hours were, finding the best spot to activate, and to have a physical address for every park so that we could load it into the GPS.
Our first park was Kilo 3941, Grundy Forest State Natural Area. Where we were able to do a pre-late shift activation and then wait for late shift to start for our 24-hour countdown for us to complete our Lion Rove. Our next park was Kilo 2977, South Cumberland State Park. There wasn't much to this park that we were able to see because it was very, very late. It was getting late at night and it was getting dark, but I believe it would be a nice park to see. So it'd be another one that would be nice to go back to. But
next was Kilo 6237, Mr. and Mrs. Harry Lee Carter, State Natural Area. We were greeted with an interesting sign The state park sign, if you read closely, says Mr. and Mrs. Larry Lee Carter, but POTA and the Tennessee State Park site have Mr. and Mrs. Harry Lee Carter as the official name. So that's funny that the sign is wrong. And so we wonder how many visitors have caught the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Next was Kilo 5493, Franklin Marion State Forest. Again, we couldn't find a sign. There was a bunch of forest, and so we were driving a bunch of windy roads, and there was nothing that we could find at all.
Mm-hmm. Next was Kilo 6257, Natural Bridge State Natural Area. Again, very dark at night, so we weren't able to see a lot of the park, but still we're able to get the park activated, and one more to our 30 park goal.
Our next park was Kilo 6247, Hawkins Cove State Natural Area. Another one that was in the middle of nowhere here in Tennessee, surrounded. There was a small pond there, but we were able to find a spot to activate it, and we got out of there because we were getting tired already at that point. It was 9 or 10 o'clock already, and we were tired.
Yeah. Then next was Kilo 3936, Cowan Marsh State Wildlife Area. Again, wasn't able to find a sign, but maybe they don't have sign. Who knows? But very, very late at night, so hard to see it with the visibility conditions. So.
Our next park was Kilo 3954, Mingo Swamp Wildlife Management Area. Not much to tell there. Just got a quick, got in there. Was no sign that we could, no big sign with the park name that we could find. Got our activation. And in between that, we were looking to go to a park. It was an entrance to a boat ramp. It was some lake, but you had to go through a military base. And with how late it was at night, we decided that we weren't going to go through the truck to go through the gate and get in there and get out. So we just skipped that one.
Mm-hmm.
Later that night, at about around 11 p.m., we activated Kilo 2980, Timms Ford State Park. Even driving around in the dark, it was still a grand park, and we would like to visit that park in the day sometime. Timms Ford Lake is a gorgeous lake with a wonderful overlook and has many fun trails to explore if you ever decide to go there.
Mm-hmm. Next on our list was Kilo 6268, Short Springs State Natural Area. It was a small park with a parking lot right next to a water tower. But it was pretty cool seeing a water tower 10 feet away from you. So that was a pretty cool sight to see.
Next was Kilo 2963, Old Stone Park. We didn't really see much, but from what I researched on it, definitely looks like a fun park with some cool archaeological discoveries that we definitely want to go back to during the daytime sometime.
And then next was Kilo 6255, May Prairie State Natural Area. Not much to this, but another X on our list of 30 parks, so we were able to get it done.
Next up, and our last park for the night, was Kilo 3944, Hickory Flats Wildlife Management Area. We were extremely happy with how many parks that we had knocked out that night. Definitely got a good beat on it, even though we were tired. That way, Sunday coming around the corner would be much easier. And we knocked out the far parks away on Saturday. So that Sunday could be a more relaxing day, and we can knock everything out. But happy finally make it back home to bed, which was around 2:30 in the morning. We most certainly want to take a quick pause and thank the following people. We thank you, James. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Terry. And thank you, Kent, for staying up all night, holding frequencies for us, and making contacts with us throughout the late night and early morning hours. We really appreciate that, and our activations would have been much harder without you guys doing that for us.
And then after a couple hours of sleep, we woke up dedicated to finishing what we started. Our first stop of the morning was Kilo 3922, Radnor Lake State Park, our wonderful home park. It's always a wonderful time activating that park, so we really enjoyed that one.
Next, we drove to Kilo 2928, Bicentennial Capitol Mall State Park. It was quite a peaceful park for it being in downtown Nashville. Luckily, it was early morning and there wasn't much noise either, so it was a very nice activation.
And then next was Kilo 2956, Long Hunter State Park, and Kilo 6240, Couchville Cedar Glades State Natural Area. This was the same location and park where we did our meetup with James on his way to Huntsville. However, this time we did not have any problems with an angry park ranger.
Next, we did Kilo 6, Mount View Glades State Natural Area. This park, it's only a one-car pull-in. That's off the side of the road. It's probably only like a 20-foot square, so it's not big at all. But there were some animals in the background, and we definitely enjoyed our activation.
And then next park on the list was Kilo 6242, LC Quarterman Cedar Glades State Natural Area, and this was an interesting park to activate. There are no large park signs, but there are park boundary markers that helps us pick a spot to set up.
Next, 7615 Percy Priest Wildlife Management Area. It's a very interesting park entrance to activate from. It was pretty hard to find. We were driving around the road. The dot on the POTA site was a little bit off, but we were able to find it. And it was a relaxing activation, as we knew that we were way ahead of time, and we were just able to enjoy our activations that day and enjoy the views. Percy Priest is a very popular local recreational area where all of Nashville goes to hike and be on the lake.
Next was Kilo 3925, Vesta Cedar Glades State Natural Area. Other than the sign and a small trail, there wasn't much to the park. However, the park was surrounded by woods, so there was a calm environment and weren't any cars that passed by, so the interference was near to none. So wonderful park to activate.
Up next was our first twofer of our line rove, Kilo 2935, Cedars to Lebanon State Park, and Kilo 3924, Cedars to Lebanon State Forest. We had to drive a long ways into the park in order to reach the twofer spot where the park and the forest met up. It was just like Iowa. It was a very bumpy gravel road with many potholes in it. So definitely make sure everything is secured whenever you drive into that park if you activate the twofer. And if you ever go there to visit Cedars to Lebanon, there's a very fancy winery for your special someone, says our mom.
Next on the list, 6270 Vine State Natural Area. In order to reach this park, you must drive past houses that are surrounded by scrap junk. The locals may tell you that you can't be there, but it is state land on a public county road. So we don't plan on getting our Kilo there because it's a little interesting park to activate, but definitely nice to be able to cross off the list.
Next was Kilo 6250, John and Hester Lane, Cedars Glades State Natural Area. This is a pretty small park, about the size of a rectangle, but it was very nice and quiet. Not sure there are many people that visit there. There are no trails or anything, but there is a nice farm to the right of us that had many horses and sheep and many friendly animals. But unlike the last park, this park is one that we will definitely enjoy going and activating more, possibly working on a Kilo.
And then next was Kilo 6276, Walter Hill State Natural Area. This was a cool park with plenty of activation space. There's even a little boat ramp at the end of the park and a neat waterfall that was visible and fun to watch during the activation. So that was a really cool park to be able to visit.
Next up was Kilo 6244, Flat Rock, Cedar Glades State Natural Area. Other than it being a quiet environment with nobody there, there pretty much isn't anything else to the park. Just a small parking lot and a little area for people to walk.
And then next was Kilo 3956, Murphy Springs State Wildlife Area. This park was unique in that there was a discovery center across from the wetlands. The park has a nice walking area over the wetlands, and there are many ducks at the park.
And finally, the last stop on our line rove was the twofer, Kilo 0708, Stones River National Battlefield, and Kilo 3791, Trail of Tears National Historic Trail, a park that we had gone to many times and activated. But this activation was also our kilo activation for both parks. And we were also greeted by our wonderful mom at this last activation. She wanted to be present when we completed our line, and we were very happy to see her. And with that, we were done with the Rove. We had a wonderful time knocking out our line together, and it was a very special day. And we now know why they call it the line, because in order to be successful, one must be focused and committed to completing their task.
And then with that, we will take another quick question break, and then we'll continue on with it. That was our Lion Rove of last year, November 20th. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat.
John wanted to know if you know how many QSOs you had total on the Lion.
On the Lion Rove, it was definitely above 1,000. I think it was 12 or 1,300 QSOs that we were able to get.
My question is about QSOs too. How many did you guys try to average, or did you guys just go until it was dry, or how did y'all do your Rove like that?
Well, Saturday, we tried to keep it quick and get out of there so that we could get as many of the parks done. Sunday was definitely more relaxed. You know, we spent some more time working on QSOs, like at Stones River and Trail of Tears. We were staying there. We made over 200 QSOs finishing up there. So that definitely got us above and beyond our kilo.
But for the parks on Saturday, I was mainly trying to get really the minimum around 15 or a little over in order to get it done. So that was pretty much the goal Saturday, and then working what we could Sunday.
Cool deal. Cool deal.
Tracy says, congratulations on the kilos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Tracy, for the 5 slices of pizza. So with doing these big rows like this, would you guys consider yourselves more Rove hunters, or do you like doing the kilos better?
You can start.
Well, I would say the kilos, you can get more of a feel at the parks. Like if it's a really nice park, I feel like the kilos would be more enjoyable for sure. Especially if you're doing Lion Roves. Like a kilo is much simpler, much more enjoyable. But if you're knocking out Lion Roves and it's not, well, same would be kind of, but if they're new Lion Roves and you're able to knock them out, it'd be pretty fun to do. But I'd still go with kilos to get. So
I enjoy doing both. The kilos are very fun, being at the parks, being able to make a bunch of QSOs, and being one of the leaders for the park that you're at. Enjoy that. But I also very much enjoy the Lion Roves because you get to look at your stats, and then as soon as you're done uploading your logs, there's a big jump in numbers, and I definitely enjoy looking at that and the new awards that come with it.
So would you be interested in doing more than the 30 park Rove, or is that about your limit?
I would do it again and more.
If we had time, definitely we could. If we had enough time to knock out more, we'd take a shot at it.
Yeah, Dad said he would need a lot of coffee in order to do it again. But I would definitely do that again. Anything else, or?
I'm not seeing anything in the chat.
All right.
And now we will begin. We'll just briefly describe a little bit of our CW achievements that we have made.
On December 30th, 2022, Ryan and I completed our first CW-only POTA activation at our home park, Radnor Lake. Day before James did his first. We had a lot of fun picking out the call signs from the many POTA CW operators around the U.S. It was definitely enjoyable because on 40 meters, we got a bunch of West Coast states. So I thought that was really cool.
And then on January 28th of 2023, Blake and I participated in Winter Field Day and ran the CW station Saturday evening, making 253 contacts in 3 hours. We were also privileged to have James contact us and give us the needed state of West Virginia for a new multiplier. And here is a short video of the award we were presented with by an accomplished CW operator in our Aries group after our amazing accomplishment.
Three weeks ago, we had Winter Field Day, and we ran a sideband station, and Cliff and I ran a CW station. And the Pearson boys, Blake and Ryan, filled in and helped us out with the CW station and did an absolutely superb job doing the CW station. And they're not here today, but they are watching by Zoom, I understand. And if Andrew could come up here, I have a presentation to make to both of them in honor of their copying and CW use. And I've got a presentation for both of the boys right here. This is it. There we are. Show that there. And let me just read this to you so that you see what presentation that Cliff and I have given. So this is WCARES January 28th, 2020, the Winter Field Day. It says, greetings to all who are present. May it be known that KN4VKY Blake and KN4VKW Ryan on this date successfully operated the CW station of N4FR at Winter Field Day by copying the Morse code by ear and operated the CW station in a manner exemplary of an experienced CW operator. He is therefore granted access to the big dog table on all future WCARES adventures. Signed, Tim and Cliff. But you have had those boys. So they did a great job. I got to tell you, because we had the CW station set up, we were sending macros using the F1 key, with calls on the exchange of this sort of stuff. We also had a key hooked up, and these guys were fluent going back and forth. They were copying 23, 25 words a minute, no trouble at all. And they were copying, and here are the stations, they send a code, and then they'd go from the keyboard over to the key back and forth, just without any hesitation at all. So if one of the operators sent them a TU for thank you, they reach over and hit TU and then just go on. And if one of the operators just went dit, which is sometimes how we end up, they just reach over and go dit. So it was pretty cool. They filling in right there with me and Cliff and Carl. So you'd have been proud of them, Carl. All right, I'll turn it back over to Jeff. Anyway, tell the guys we're proud of them, and they can sit at the big dog table from here on out. No more sitting at the small table anymore.
We want to say thank you very much to Tim, 84CJ, and to Cliff, November 4, Charlie Bravo, for allowing us the opportunity to operate the CW Winter Field Day station, as we had a lot of fun and are very happy to have achieved big dog status. In March of 2023, after months of waiting, Ryan and I finally saw and contacted a North Dakota CW POTA station, and we were able to complete our POTA, worked all states.
And then also in March, Blake and I were privileged to be asked to work the VOTA volunteer on the Air CW special event, W1AW/4. So it was a fun experience being able to do that, and we were able to do that at the home station. So nice and relaxing, and we were able to get some contacts. So
Twice in December, a significant marvel occurred in our family. May you be as surprised and thrilled as us enjoy this rare event in amateur radio.
Calling the Williamson County Amateur Radio Emergency Service Net. This is Laura, N4CLO, your net control operator, using the Brentwood 145.210 repeater this evening. Should anyone need to pass emergency or priority traffic, please notify net control by saying break or emergency and follow with your call sign. This net meets each Monday evening at 7 p.m. to plan, train, and discuss the activities of the Williamson County Aries. This is a directed net. Please remain on frequency until the end of the day. If you must leave early, please notify net control, and during this net, direct all communications through net control, November 4, Charlie Lima Oscar. This net is open to all licensed amateur radio operators interested in supporting ARES and emergency communications in Wayne County and surrounding areas. However, ARES membership is not required to check in. We are using a linked repeater system. Please key your radio and then wait at least 1 to 2 seconds afterwards to allow the entire 5-repeater system to activate before you start talking. KC1DWP, good evening, Jeff. I show you as the alternate net control this evening.
Thank you, Laura. KC1DWP here as alternate.
Do we have any announcements for the net? Announcements, please call now.
KN4 VKX.
KN4 VKX. Good evening, Andrew. Please go with your announcement.
KN4 VKX. Thank you, Laura. Good evening, WCARES friends. My family and I are grateful to you all for your time, teaching, and investment in us. We have always enjoyed and looked forward to opportunities to be together, learn, and then find ways to apply what we've received. Your is contagious, and our growth is measurable because of it all. We are serious about ham radio and the enjoyment that comes with it. As a result of all that I've shared, please stand by for a special moment. Kilo November 4, Victor Kilo X-ray to net control. Please stand by for a second operator.
Second operator is Kilo November 4, Victor Kilo Yankee. Please stand by for a third operator.
Third operator is Kilo November 4, Victor Kilo Whiskey. Please stand by for a fourth operator.
Fourth operator is Kilo Juliet 4, Victor Lima Foxtrot. My name is Jacqueline, and please stand by for a fifth operator.
Fifth operator is Kilo Quebec 4, Foxtrot Delta Papa. My name is Caleb. Please stand by for further information from KN4 BKX.
You are all familiar with the boys and me. FDP is our oldest son, Caleb, that recently graduated from Tennessee Tech University and is now a civil engineer in Nashville. KJ4 VLF is my beloved wife, Jacqueline. She is the brains and the beauty of our family. Jacqueline is a flight nurse with Vanderbilt Life Flight. She gave us quite the Christmas Day present as we learned of her technician ticket. We wanted to join y'all this past monthly meeting on Saturday, but we were in Holmwell. Jacqueline is now an HF qualified general class amateur radio operator. Our radio adventures and memories have now taken on an exciting new level. KN4 VKX back to N4 CLO.
Now, that is an announcement to remember. I think all the WCARES members that are listening that know the story of the Pearson family are yelling and beating their fists on the counter. So happy to hear you. Welcome, Caleb. Welcome, Jacqueline. Welcome to your upgrade to your ticket. Please be active with WCARES. I believe there was a double, but I heard a certain Elmer out there, KC4LRR. Mr. RJ, you have the floor. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Jacqueline, congratulations on your upgrade. Way to go, KC4LR.
And Jacqueline, looking at you on QRZ right now, and bear in mind to everyone in the Pearson family, I am frantically fist pumping. Your family story is fantastic. Looking forward to hearing every one of you on the WK. Caleb, congratulations. I believe your dad said that you are now a civil engineer. Congratulations, sir. Any more comments for the Pearson family before we move on with the net? WP.
Enough members to form their own NMRL sanctioned group, WB4TTZ.
WB4TTZ, got that comment? I've got you checked in, Michael. EC Jeff, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to say, Andrew, that we are very proud of you and your entire family and are very, very proud that you're part of the WCARES family. And super accomplishment. You guys are amazing and an
inspiration to all of us. KC1EWP, back to that. And again, Andrew, thank you very much for that, and look forward to hearing all of you. In the meantime, you are checked in. I'll be listening for you, Jacqueline and Caleb, you as well, when you can check in. This is N4CLO calling the WCARES Monday Night Net.
So that was a cool thing to be able to accomplish on that Monday Night Nets. Caleb, KQ4FDP, is our older brother. He tested and passed his technician in May of 2022. He may have studied for a combined of 4 hours because his foundation is solid, as he earned his Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineering and is now a gainfully employed civil engineer. He got licensed in December of 2022. Yes, there is a funny story to this. As he was busy finishing up his spring semester and planning his summer internship, he just spaced in the time to do the necessary follow-up to complete the licensing process. And thank you, Mom, for fixing this.
Next up, Mom has been the biggest fan and supporter of our ham amateur radio and POTA adventures. She always said that she would never get her license, but then she surprised us that Christmas morning with a mystery package, which turned out to be her technician call sign. Thank you, Mom, so very much for taking the time and obtaining a call sign. Our words will never express the gratitude that we have for you joining us, and we look forward to the adventures that will come with it.
And then this April, our dad became the first VE, volunteer examiner, in our family, and we plan to join him when we turn 18, so way to go, Dad.
And with that being said, thank you all for joining us this evening and listening to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to presenting again for you all in the future. 73 and 75 from KN4VKY
and KN4VKW.
All right, more questions for the last part of it. So my question is, do you guys plan on doing more CW activations this year, or you're going to stick to sideband? What are you going to do?
So we're trying to figure out a way on how to do our CW activations, but it turns out it's a little challenging to try to tell them that it's a 2-op activation on 2-op and then now 3-op activation on CW. So we're trying to figure out a way to do that. But if we do get separated and we do an activation where it's one of us, then if we can, we do plan on doing CW, because then that'd be much simpler. But that's right now. But if anyone has any suggestions on how to do multi-op CW, feel free to help us with that. But
yes, Mom, when she comes with us over the summer, we have some parks on some of our baseball trips that we plan on kiloing, and she will definitely be there for some of them, and we will enjoy being able to do some POTUS with her. And yes, she hopefully will be calling CQ out for one of them.
I'm wondering if any of the soda guys do multiple operators, because I know they do a lot of CW. Wondering if any of them have made any videos with multiple operators that we could look into.
I know Kyle's in the chat. Maybe Kyle might know somebody that does multiple operator CWs as well. I know your dad's been working on CW as well. Is your mom going to try to do CW, or is she going to stick to the voice?
We don't exactly know yet. that will come at a later date, but she's still here, licensed, and we'll have some fun.
Good deal. So I guess it'll be better, because when you guys go to separate tournaments, one with Mom and one with Dad, now you guys can have two operator activations going at one time.
Yes. We may be in different states, but we'll still have 2 operators at both of them.
And you can park each other.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely have a fun summer planned. Some parks that we will be kiloing, and definitely having been there last year, some more parks and where to go. And so it'll be a lot of fun activating the summer, the full summer that we have a radio with. So it'll be very fun.
And as competitive as you two are, I can see it now. You're gonna, when you get home, you're like, how many did you get? No, how many did you get?
It'll be activations, QSOs, and when we split up, I might go do a lion rope in between baseball.
Nice.
Funny stuff. Anybody else got any questions? I'll tell you what, the rows are no joke. Those big rows, those 30+ rows. I've done several of them, and the fact that these two young men get out and do this, we got to remember they're still youths, and they're enjoying getting out and doing this hobby. So I commend them for that. Not getting into the mischief that most youths get into. They got their heads on right. So it's very awesome. And as far as CW, they are absolute machines. I will tell you, they started, just recently, and they're just absolute beast on CW. So it's just amazing what they have accomplished so far.
Well, thank you.
Hopefully someday we'll go for when we're able to activate a bunch more in between baseball now. We'll go for our 5,000 CW QSOs activating.
You guys need to set the goal higher than that.
Well, everybody has their things that they've got going on, but school and baseball take up a lot of time.
I'm just saying, you guys are quick, man. You guys would blow through it.
Yeah. Will there be a FT8 POTA activation? We don't plan on. All we plan on is SSB and CW. We're not really main into digital, really. It's just straight SSB and CW. So that's basically it for us. We don't plan doing FT8 at any parks we go to.
Unless we get into a very bad situation and somehow we're not making any contacts.
No offense to FT8.
But no offense to FT8. We still enjoy doing it at home sometimes.
I don't like FT8 at all.
So a suggestion that I would think would maybe get a duplexer or a triplexer and run it on your antenna, where you guys could run different bands, and one of you could do CW while the other one was doing voice on the different bands, and then you guys could swap. That might be one way you could do it.
Well, that is something that we will definitely look into. But when we do our activations, we enjoy doing everything together. So we're all making the same amount of QSOs with the same people and getting even credit, working together.
Even though Ryan has more with me, right?
Yes.
That's all because of last February. That doesn't
I started business and it paid off.
Yeah. Thanks for the slices of pizza, Ron. I'm just playing. He didn't send me nothing. Blake's like, what? Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate the super chat. All right. Anybody else got any questions for them? And I agree with Ed with this comment right here.
Yep.
That is what POTA is all about. Do it the way you love to do it. Don't let anybody tell you any different. When I first started these boys on their first activation, I told them, I said, don't do your activations like me. Don't do them like anybody. Do them the way you love to do it. Although if you hear them run a pop-up, they do their activations like me. But that's good. They do it the way they love to do it.
They had a good teacher.
So yes.
But there's no wrong way to POTA. You just have fun. POTA's about having fun. So good stuff. Good stuff.
And I guess on May 22nd, I think it is, that we'll be doing the meetup, I think. So May 22nd is our 1 year anniversary. for
activating parks on the
active
air.
parks. Yes. So
May 22nd. Is that after dating this year? I believe it is.
if it's the similar schedule, it'd be around the same time frame.
It will be around the same time, but I'm thinking that'll be a Monday this year.
That'll be so the day. I forgot. I think Dayton ends on Saturday or Sunday. I forgot which one.
It ends on Sunday. Okay.
The day after you mentioned.
Dan wants to know if he can borrow your brains and do CW at 25 words per minute.
You figure out how to, fine.
Dan can send at 25 words a minute all day long. It's just he can't decode it when it goes back at him. Which I don't blame him. I can't either. Like once it comes through that fast, I'm like, huh? When I contacted y'all on field day, I listened for like 10 minutes beforehand, listening till I could get y'all's rhythm down.
I remember that.
Oh God. Here we go. Let's just see if I can get through this.
I remember that. The first time you called was the first time we got you right away. There's a pile up.
Oh. All right. So what's going to be your next big adventure then? Because we got to start wrapping this up.
Definitely will be our summer. What we get done throughout baseball and earning my way to my private pilot's license, and maybe get a foot activation in the air. We'll see about that.
Good deal. That sounds awesome. Oh, pilot roving. That'll be good. See, then you can just pilot yourself over to West Virginia and come over here and activate Chief Logan. Everybody needs to activate Chief Logan once.
Mm-hmm.
The road shouldn't be a problem for us if that happens.
There's no such thing as traffic.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Hayden, you got anything cool coming up?
Oh, not this weekend or next weekend, but I got my meetup on the 29th at K1577. It's a memorial activation for my POTA mentor, W3RAR, and it's a Maryland State POTA meetup. So if you're in the area, come on by.
Good deal.
Need any details, shoot me a message.
That sounds fun, and I tell you, if he brings out to the meetup what he brought out to the meetup in Delaware,
it will be there.
It's worth the price of admission, and you'll see what it is in my video. Not tomorrow's Thursday drop, but next Thursday's drop will be the Delaware video, and it's well worth the price of admission. I seen it and I was like, oh, this is cool. I had to play with it, that's for sure. But good stuff. All right, for myself, tomorrow after about 4 hours of YouTube editing, I'm going to, if everything works out right, I'm going to go do a summit. So if you do summits on the air, tomorrow will be the day to get me for sure. Other than that, I'll be in parks after that, doing parks on the air, and all weekend long and all year long, and until I'm deep in the ground, and then people's probably going to wheel my casket around to certain parks and all that good stuff. But anyway, I did get the HRO. Didn't buy a thing. Didn't buy a single thing. Everybody bought something but me, Ed. But all right, everybody, thank you very much for the donations. Thanks to the boys for coming out and doing another awesome stream. And Patreons, we are going to be in the after chat for the Happy Hour After Dark. If you want to check out Happy Hour After Dark and see what Patreons are all about, shoot myself or Hayden a message. We do give you one shot at it to check it out before you join up if you want. Other than that, Discord is 100% free, and if you're not in my Discord, you miss out a lot of stuff. I did 4 or 5 activations today, but one of them was only on Discord, and it was only CW. And if you're not into Discord, you just don't know this stuff. So check it out. Other than that, 73, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
73, great.